closing is, above all else, a science. It is about language instruction. It is about formal closing, and it's about rules, and there are a bunch. And just to take a step back, closing is not limited just to the order or getting that candidate on board. Now, closing is anything from getting a cell phone number from a prospect to getting a referral to someone else in power to getting a meeting. Whenever you ask for commitment and get it, particularly if that commitment requires action on the part of the prospect, you are closing. So you are always closing. But how do you actually do that? Well, there are some rules that we get into. And some of these rules are contrarian, but I believe that they're true based on my experience. First rule about closing, I believe, is that closing demands that you, the customer, you as a salesperson, you have to put your prospect or customer in a mild state of temporary discomfort. And that's not fun to do. And most of us work pretty hard to build rapport so we don't make people feel uncomfortable. Well, there's an element of discomfort that has to be introduced when you actually close. Closing is not about trying to get people to do things they don't want to do. Closing is not about convincing people to do what you want. That is not closing. Closing is about you convincing people that your question was reasonable. It's a little different. It's not that I'm expecting you to do or not do this. You, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you are of free will. You can say yes or no. What I have to make sure is that when I ask that question, your response is, I might not want to answer that question directly or right now, but I totally understand why she asked me. That's where we have to go with this. How do we do it? You're going to learn over 16 different closing techniques, specific closing techniques that some of which date back 50 years or more. Direct closes and choice closes and assumptive closes and ascension closes. You're going to learn how to structure them, what words to use, more importantly, where to use them. Because what works on one buyer doesn't work on another. The buyer's personalities are different. What you're selling is different. What you're closing for changes. All of these things require different closes. I play a lot of golf, or I try to, and there are 14 clubs in my bag, and there's a reason for that, because I could probably play a round of golf with just a wedge and a putter, but I'm not going to break 90, and neither will you in sales, unless you have a variety of closes at your beck and call. And that's what we focus on specifically, just like all of our other programs and workshops. We do it live. We're going to do some role-playing, and we're going to talk to customers and prospects on the phone. We're going to tee these opportunities up and try a closeout right there in a class, right there at a workshop, right there in a seminar. You can see if it works or not. The beautiful thing about sales techniques, as opposed to methodology, is that sales techniques will have an impact immediately. Either it works or it doesn't work. What better way to practice closing than with a gifted instructor like myself, as well as your colleagues and as well as your management team. You can really play with this stuff and try it out. At the end of the day, all of these things are techniques that require discipline and maturity and adult focus. But no one can expect you to do these things instinctively. You have to learn them. I did not learn closing when I woke up one day. I was taught it. And that's the whole notion about this program, Hammer It Closed. How can you hammer your opportunities closed with comfort and with confidence and with decisiveness and with and being prepared enough so that you can not only handle their yes, but also handle their no.
We required a very specific set of training to come in and facilitate the growth that we were looking for.
The three metrics that we were going after were conversion rates on inbound calls, upsells, which were pre and post trips, and then selling the insurance.
What we were looking for with any type of training program, and what we very happily found with Jeff Hoffman, is the ability to really identify where you can not just take the philosophy of a training, but really go ahead and identify things that our frontline people could grasp immediately and bring right to market.
With Jeff's training, the metrics, we were up 15 and 20% on metrics. That was translating on a net profit per week of over $200,000 because of the sheer volume that we were getting. And people today, this was 2 years ago, still come up to me and thank me for bringing Jeff in for 2 days.
Great success in the way we were able to implement a specific need and get very quick results on the back end.